do you just want to be compete in and around, or we want it all? We want to go to the very top.
Do you want to be one of the best in England, or do you want to be one of the best in Europe? I feel like Howe can get you to be one of the best in England. At least in our lifetime.
This takes nothing away from Newcastle. A considerable amount of the reason why Liverpool lost was the PSG game. That's not Newcastle's fault. It takes nothing away from Newcastle, and Liverpool only have themselves to blame where you were 1-0 up and you allowed yourself at home to play a very extraneous 2-hour game against PSG. That's on you. And you can definitely see that physically, they just went there. And the worst team to play when you're not physically at an optimum level is Newcastle. As in, you need to have breakfast, brunch, lunch, dinner, and starters to go up against Joe Linton. Okay. Like you need all of your Popeye spinach to go up against a guy like Joe Linton. Because that guy is ready to go to war.
It's Joe Linton, it's Murphy, Isak runs, Guimaraes runs, Tonali run. Like they all run till it hurts.
It's thugged out. It's San Quentin. it's 24/7 lockdown, bro. You know, like it's
shoot program.
Shoot program. ... Like
I was gonna, but I didn't.
No, we can't. No, but like, yeah, it's like it's real. So it's real. So I think that Newcastle were easily the better team. And look, it's a great story. Because I remember that 99 FA Cup final, Newcastle Man U on the way to the treble, and Shearer losing probably his best chance of winning something with Newcastle. And we also remember the Carabao Cup final before, and the Bobby Robson years, and all the players they had, Ginola, Ferdinand, Faustino, Asprilla, all these guys.
Yeah.
So to see, and I was even about to do a video on this, but we can actually have this discussion. Before the trophy, it seemed as if, okay, Eddie Howe is the guy for the guy. English managers are not very good. And the English manager has never won the Premier League. English manager has never won any of the top 5 leagues. So with the amount of investment Newcastle have had, thanks Churchill, but exit stage left, we're actually going to get a proper coach and proper manager because you don't have the capabilities. Now that he's won this trophy, this is my hot take. I still think he's the guy before the guy. Because what he's done is amazing. And my question is at Newcastle, what do you want? How far do you want to go? Because I think Eddie Howe can take these guys really far. I can add on. But can we talk tactics, Daniel Tillock? Can we talk tactics? Passion merchantry can only take you so far. So yes, thugged out, run hard, boom, up and down, grafting. A league, a Champions League, you're going to need more than passion. And with the way the game is going, the game is becoming a lot more tactical now, a lot more strategic. And I may be wrong, but this is just my hot take. I feel what Eddie Howe has done is amazing. But if Newcastle wants to go to the next level, which is we want to now win the league, from a dynasty in the league, and we want to win the Champions League, I do feel that they need a much higher level of manager. Now, the flip side is maybe this victory, Eddie Howe can grow. He can become better. And this is a guy that can grow with the team. So as the team is growing, he's growing as well. And that can be true. So we could turn around now, 3 years' time, good investments. These guys have won the Premier League. These guys are in Champions League final with Eddie Howe. That could be very possible. But I just feel, as a guy studying the game, looking at football, looking at where football is going, I'm just not sure whether Eddie Howe's approach can take Newcastle to the mountaintop. His approach can make them compete. Top 4. Flirting with the title. Maybe a cheeky UCL quarter here. But in terms of to win the Champions League, to win the league with an investment, boom.
I think I don't know what I think. So when you were talking, I wrote down 4 things. The first thing I wrote down was Man City. So you would say that Pep Guardiola was the guy, and it was the guy that they knew they wanted the whole time. But in order to build the program effectively to a point that would be attractive to a Pep Guardiola to leave a Bayern Munich, to leave a Barcelona, whenever they were trying to get him, they had to do the stepping stone. I don't know if they started with Mark Hughes or one of those, but they definitely went to Mancini and then Pellegrini. And it was in those years that you got your Companies, your Agueros, your Yaya Toures, David Silva. Like that core of that team that won the 2012 and the League Cup and all of those things, like they needed to become a winning team in order to get the guy that was the guy. Whether or not this is that for Newcastle, to where you need to get the squad itself needs to win trophies. You need Guimaraes and Isak and Murphy, and I know Gordon didn't play, but Gordon and Tonat, like these guys have to win and become winners, which they are now, in order to take the next step in their progression. Maybe that has to happen, and you just need a manager to do it. For Man City, it was Mancini, it was Pellegrini. For Newcastle, it's clearly Howe. Then the question becomes, do you just want to be good? Do you want to be good in England, or do you want to be like a dominant team in Europe? And to do that, while Mancini and Pellegrini definitely were close.
Mancini.
What did I call him? Mancini.
I don't know. It's most of the head. Mancini. It's Mancini.
Mancini. You're right. Yeah. I'm thinking. Is it who's the boxer? That's Mancini, that killed somebody. Ray Boom Boom Mancini, I think was the name. Oh. So I always get them conflated. Oh, okay. But either way, he boxed somebody. It was a Korean boxer that died in the ring. But Mancini, you're right. Yeah, like you needed to go through those years. and win leagues and different things, but to be the team that's dominated, they've won 6 out of 7 or 5 out of 6, whatever it is, 4 in a row, Champions League. Did they win a treble?
Wait, with Pep? City won a treble. Yeah.
To be treble winners and all of that, you do need a guy. But then I was thinking, who do you get? If we accept that Howe is the guy before the guy, and I tend to agree with you, even though I think they could stick with him and they could go through a process.
So why do you agree with me though? Why do you think that he's the guy before
because
the guy?
it's heading in the correct direction. Last season, I feel like the squad was injury plagued, and they were dealing with Champions League football and all of the different things that come along with that. This season, I feel like they've added good pieces. They've got back a player that was suspended for gambling and all that kind of stuff. And it seems to be progressing in the correct direction. It's just the pace of progression. How fast can it go with Howe? And I would think, based on the history as you lay out of English managers and just how I feel about him as a guy, it's looking at what he did with Bournemouth, which was really good. And kind of moving them up the league pyramid, as it were, and then getting to Newcastle. It just seems like he's a steady hand, but is he like one of those ones? Is he a Mourinho? Is he a Pep? Is he a Klopp? Is he a... He doesn't seem like he's that. And I think that's what you need if you want to be at the top end of world football as such. But that's why I ask, who do you get? Because I said, I wrote GID, RIP, in terms of there are no GID managers that people are happy to hire these days. Napoli kind of got lucky with Conte in a sense, but you're not going for a Mourinho anymore. You're not going for a Tuchel anymore. You're not going for a Conte really anymore. I don't see those guys going there. It's now about how good is our project. And if it's just about the project and the overwhelming weight of our success is going to be predicated on kind of steadying and slowly building and just incremental gains that over time will just equal winning, maybe you just do stick with Howe until it crashes or it flies. Like, I don't know. Cause like if I give you like who do you go higher?
There's no one out there now, but I just can't keep shaking the fact that I just don't see Eddie Howe taking Newcastle to the mountaintop. But then there's another angle we've not looked at.
Mm-hmm.
These Newcastle fans love this guy, and they're like, "Don't you dare touch him."
I think they'd love anybody though, except Ashley.
Oh yeah. No. I mean, but I think like he's brought so much goodwill in terms of these guys beat Arsenal and Liverpool to win this trophy. Those are two real trophies that they took down. So my thing though is, what do Newcastle want? What do these owners want? Because as you just said, do you just want to be compete in and around, or we want it all? We want to go to the very top.
Do you want to be one of the best in England, or do you want to be one of the best in Europe? I feel like Howe can get you to be one of the best in England. And
Yes.
if you care about that, then okay. If you want to be a Champions League team, top 5, maybe a league title race 2 or 3 years in the next 5 seasons or so, like I think he'll service that.